Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the regular scheduled meeting, City of Griffin Board of Commissioners, May 26, 2015. We're glad to have you here tonight. We're going to start off with Ms. Todd leading the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by me with the invocation. Please rise.
Thank you. And face the flag, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please join me in prayer. Father, we're here today to ask for your blessings and guidance in the performance of our duties as elected officials. We pray for strength, love, knowledge, and understanding. Help us to recognize and solve the problems that are presented. Make our solutions fair and just to the best interest of everyone. Help us to overcome our shortcomings and keep us united as a team to work for the betterment of the city and its people. We pray in your name. Amen.
Chairman.
Yes, sir. Mr. Morrow.
I move we approve the agenda as presented unless there's a change that I don't know about.
Got a motion from Mr. Morrow. Do we have a second? Ms. Todd with a second. Any discussion or changes? All in favor, signal raise your hand. 6-0. All right. First great honor tonight is to recognize Vicki Coggins with the Human Resources Department for 30 years of dedicated service to the City of Griffin. Human Resources Director Niles Neville will address. Good evening.
Good evening. Ooh, this works. Everybody knows why we're here. It's an exciting day today. Now, Vicki wanted to make sure that y'all knew she is not giving a speech. She may say thank you, but that's about as much as she's going to do. On May 13th, 1985, Vicki came to work for the City of Griffin. She was hired as a payroll clerk by Calvin Perry, I believe. Is that right? Now, let's put that 30 years into perspective here for a moment. Pete Rose was still playing baseball. Michael Jordan was Rookie of the Year in the NBA. We Are the World was recorded. New Coke was introduced and subsequently unintroduced. I was working for Coke at the time. What a fiasco. MacGyver debuted, and Walt Disney World celebrated their 200 millionth guest. Now, that means they had to have 39,215 guests a day go through Walt Disney World. That's a lot of people in one day, but 200th millionth guest, 30 years ago. Now, Vicki Coggins, what can I say about her? We've been together 11 years, and she is kind, caring. She has, as most of you know, an infectious laugh, which I hear every day, a great smile, and she's very, very hardworking. She doesn't get a lot of credit, and HR doesn't in general, for payroll, because it's expected that we're going to have your checks for you and that they're going to be right. But I did some research and a little math, which I'm not very good at, and figured out that from the time that I got here to now, we've done approximately 236,000 checks. That's a lot of checks. And as y'all know, it's rare, if ever, we get a complaint about our checks or making a mistake. And that's because Vicki works so hard to make sure that we don't have those problems. When she's stressed out about payroll, she comes to me, we figure it out, and we make it happen. I'm very proud to know Vicki. She's just not just my coworker, but she's also my friend. And I'm glad this is not goodbye. This is just 30 years. She's going to be here another 13, so she can retire with me, right? We'll go out together, and everything will be good. But Vicki, I love you very much. I'm glad you're a part of the City of Griffin. Here's your major award.
Thank you.
And congratulations.
Vicki, your charm and personality overflows everywhere you go, and your character is unbelievable, and we appreciate what you do for us and our community. Thank you for your service.
And nobody would ever believe her hobby is collecting gargoyles and dragons and you name all these these horrible creatures. But your personality is wonderful, like Doug says. You are a shining star.
Amen. Thank you.
All right, moving into the citizens' comment. At this time, the chairperson opens the floor to comments from the audience. Comments should relate to a specific agenda item not listed on the agenda for the public hearing or to a concern within the jurisdiction of the city. Commission meetings serve the purpose of conducting city business and are not a forum for the unlimited expression of opinion. The chairperson reserves the rights to limit comments to matters germane to city business and may refer speakers to the city manager or other staff for resolution. With that being said, is there anybody on my left side that would like to come before the Board of Commissioners? Is there anybody on my right side that would like to come before the Board of Commissioners? Last call. Thank you very much. Moving on into public hearings. First item is to receive comments regarding the proposed budgets for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2015 and ending June 30th of 2016. So, Mr. Smith, you had a lot of words this morning to say. I'm looking forward to you repeating every one of those. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I
please
hadn't planned to,
No,
but
good.
we do have a copy of the budget here, and it's on file in my office for anybody that wants to come and take a look at that or ask any questions, and we'll have another public hearing in 2 weeks and adoption of the budget in 2 weeks.
Very good. This is a public hearing. At this time, is there anybody in the audience on my left that would like to come before the board to ask any questions or comments? Is there anybody on my right that would like to come before the board for any questions or comments? Does the board have any other questions or comments at this time?
I will say that, once again, I was highly impressed and pleased with Mr. Smith and his team's budget. It was very tight, no wasted motion in the budget. You were faithful to our goals that we set at our retreat, where our priorities were, and I couldn't be more pleased with another, I think, fine, tough budget in difficult times.
Thank you very much, Mr. Smith. All right, moving to consent agenda. We're going to take these each one by item 3 and 4 separately. First was to consider a motion to deny claim against the city and police officer Tina M. Dean by the Howard Law Firm, P.C., on behalf of Derek Wynn for damages in the amount of $358,213.33 arising out of the arrest of Mr. Wynn on a state warrant for aggravated battery. Pleasure of the board.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the motion to deny the claim as presented.
I second.
We have a motion, Mr.
Sorry.
Morris, second by Ms. Ward. Any discussion or comments? All in favor, signal by raising your hand. All against, like sign. It's 5-1, Mr. McCord voting against. Item 4, consider approval of minutes for the May 12, 2015 Board of Commissioners regular scheduled meeting.
I read them. They appear to be in order. Unless someone has additions or corrections, I move they be approved as presented.
We have a motion, Mr. Morrow, a second. Ms. Ward, a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor, signal by raising your hand. 6-0. Moving into the regular scheduled meeting. Item 5, consider approval to amend the City of Griffin General Fund fiscal year 2014-15 operating and capital budget in the amount of $2,210 for fireworks compliance and safety, in parentheses, enforcement officials fireworks training program as previously approved April 20th, 2015.
Move that we approve.
Ms. Todd with the motion, second by Mr. McLemore. I'm sorry, April 28th, 2015. All in favor of your comment?
Legal fireworks, a dream come true for
All in
me.
favor?
That's right.
Raise your hand.
Absolutely.
6-0.
I like to make noise.
Outstanding. Pyro. Item 6, consider approval to amend the City of Griffin's fiscal year 2014-15 operating capital budget in the amount of $16,000 grant award for the purchase of vehicle cameras as previously approved on April 28, 2015, and approve the transfer of $124 to general fund operating cash from asset forfeiture cash.
Move we approve.
Ms. Todd with the motion to approve. Ms. Ward with the second. Any discussion? All in favor, signal by raising your hand. 6-0. Item 7, consider on second reading an ordinance amending the City of Griffin Chapter 90, Traffic and Vehicles, Article 3, Speed Zones to update the speed zone schedule. Pleasure.
Chairman, I move we approve on second reading.
Mr. Morrow with the motion, second by Mr. McLemore. And this is the document we signed approving to move forward with that.
Right.
All in favor, signal by raising your hand. 6-0. Item 8, consider resolution and letter of support for the Griffin Housing Authority's redevelopment initiative regarding Meriwether Homes redevelopment, Phase 2. Planning and Development Director Charles Kirk will address. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Tucson. Excuse me, Tucson Kirk. Well, I'm sorry.
Well, everybody needs a new name every now and then, right, Tucson?
We have a motion from Ms. Ward,
I'll- Okay.
second by Mr. Morrow. Any questions or comments? Would you like to make a statement?
No, I just need $20 in the jar.
$20 now?
Yeah, it's gone up, yeah.
Great. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, signal by raising your hand. 6-0. Item 9, I need to abstain since I have a potential conflict of interest of owning property, so I'll turn it over to Mr. Morrow.
Okay, number 9, consider execution of agreement with Allen Smith Consulting to prepare the City of Griffin FY 2016 Community Development Block Grant application to the Georgia Department of Community Affairs in the amount of $8,000.
Yes, sir. Same as last year's contract. Is it?
Did I hear a motion?
I'll
Motion, Ms.
second.
Ward, and a second. Any other comments? Kirk, anybody? Not all in favor, please raise your hand. 601. I mean 501.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kirk. Item 10, consider approval of an F-250 pickup truck from Speedway Ford in the amount of $31,909.40 and surplus existing Unit 863 for the Water Wastewater Department of the Public Works and Utilities Department.
Make a motion to approve.
Mr. McCord made a motion. Second, Ms. Ward. Any discussion? All in favor, signal by raising your hand.
I wish I could buy a 250 for that price.
6-0.
Be nice.
Item 11, consider the purchase of water meter test bench unit from Ferguson Waterworks in the amount of $33,582.93 and amending the fiscal year 2014-15 budget accordingly for the Water and Wastewater Department of the Public Works and Utilities Department. Pleasure of the board.
Move we approve.
Ms. Todd made a motion to approve, second by Ms. Ward. Any discussion? All in favor, signal by raising your hand. 6-0. Item 12, consider the purchase of a variable frequency drive for the high service pump number 2 at Still Branch Water Treatment Plant from McNaughton McKay in the amount of $178,894.45 for the Water and Wastewater Department of the Public Works and Utilities Department and amend the budget accordingly.
I move we approve, but I'm a little confused. I have a question.
We have a motion, Mr. Morris, second by Ms. Ward.
I thought we had, is this the pumps? We've been buying a bunch of pumps. They're the ones that were under warranty and we're getting some warranty money back, or is this something separate?
No, this is replacing the Magna Drive that we had when we had a power surge down there. It destroyed it, and we're going with VFDs versus back with Magna Drive pumps because they're more efficient from an electricity standpoint.
And there is no insurance offset to any of this?
We're getting a motor rewound, and that's it. That's all they'll cover.
And this is the fund balance from this current year,
We're arranging it,
working to the, okay. All right,
and
we have a
we'll be
motion.
back before you hopefully in the next, I guess, 4 weeks, looking for TOF for construction to get it installed. We're working on that.
Have a motion, and a second. Any other questions of Dr. Keller? All in favor, signal by raising your hand. 6-0. Thank you, sir.
You know, with a piece of equipment this big, it surprises me there's no surge protector or something on it.
There is an arrestor. We've actually spent, in the upgrade to Steel Branch, when we went to the 12 MGD, we also went and spent $55,000 to ground everything out there. There was a leg in the power that went out. It had nothing to do with lightning. It had a leg go out, and then it came back on and blew it.
So there's no circuit protection for that, huh?
As best as we got.
All right.
It froze it up is what happened.
We buy a lot of buckets for that.
Yeah, I know.
Right. But it costs to have people carry them, so.
All right. Item 13, consider award of lowest and best bid in construction contract to McCoy Grading, Inc. for the GDOT LMIG program year 2015 in the amount of $433,149.37 for the Public Works and Utilities Department and amend the budget accordingly. Pleasure of the board.
I move we approve the lowest and best bid of Mr. McCoy.
Mr. Morrow made a motion, second by Ms. Ward. Any questions or discussion? All in favor, signal by raising your hand. 6-0.
That is McCoy, no relation to McCoy.
Did he owe you $20 too? Okay. Item Item 14, consider approval of a task order to Paragon Consulting for the construction management of GDOT LMIG 2015 project in the amount of $20,870 for the Public Works and Utilities Department, and then the budget accordingly.
Move we approve.
Ms. Todd for the motion, do a second. Ms. Ward for the second, any discussion? All in favor, signal by raising your hand. 6-0. Item 15, consider a parking configuration to add on street parking spaces at the east side of North 5th Street. City manager will address.
Gave you a diagram of the proposed parking spaces. We have a pretty sizable right-of-way there. We were approached by the property owner there who requested some on-street parking, and since we're developing the park 1 block from there, we want to increase the parking from the parking lot there at Griffin Daily News all the way to Broad Street.
Let me get my configuration right quick.
The 11 additional parking spaces, 12 total, 1 will be a handicap space.
So we're, I'll get this open up. So we're gonna be putting the parking on, the east side, but nothing on the west side?
That's correct. There's already some parking spaces there at the old jail
Right.
on one side, and if you go farther down, it would actually take away from and encroach upon the park property. So we're just doing the east side.
Have we talked to the Griffin Daily News who owns the
Oh, yes,
buildings?
sir.
And they got their blessings?
Yes,
Good.
sir.
I was waiting for that to come.
I'm sorry?
Price is right.
That's true. You know, I
Okay.
think it'd be a great addition, Ray.
And so we'll basically just grade that
We just
out,
need money.
put a new curb, put some asphalt in, and make it happen.
Yes.
Okay. And there's no, we've had no opposition from anybody as far as we know?
Met with Griffin Daily News on site. They're okay with it as long as they have their entrances to those 2 buildings there.
Okay.
And like I said, we were approached by the property owner in front of the school, so
All right.
Did you get
What is the pleasure of the board?
I move we approve the parking configuration as presented.
And motion, Mr. Morris, second by Mr. McLemore. Any other discussion? Do we have an estimate of total cost on this?
I do not. We'll be doing it with budgeted funds in the street department supplies. Probably spill over into next year's, probably won't start on it for a couple of weeks, so some of it will be in this fiscal year, some of it next.
Is this for the
But
park?
it's not, we'll be doing it ourselves, so it won't be a huge amount. I'm sorry?
Just extra cost.
I'm sorry, what type of improvements are we gonna make to the area? Cause I noticed we're having our June Jam there, is that correct?
We're really not making any improvements to the park area at this point.
Okay.
Not for June Jam, not
No, you don't have
immediately.
time for June Jam. I was just wondering if perhaps you had a, magic seeing our glass or whatever you could tell us.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Any other questions on this issue? We have a motion and a second. All in favor, signal by raising your hand. It's 6-0. Item 16, consider changing the name of Thomas Packing Company Drive to Thomas Drive. City manager will address.
There's some debate as to whether that's even a street or not. Looking at the plat, it's actually self-contained in our land there in that plotted area. It's 13.86 acres, so according to the tax assessors, that street's actually self-contained in there. On the other hand, GIS has it as a street, so just out of an abundance of caution, we wanted to ask you to change the name. Since there's not a packing company there anymore, it just, for convenience and makes more sense to just take the packing company part out of the name and just call it Thomas Drive.
Now, there's a Thomas Street that we already have in Griffin, is that correct?
But that's in the county.
I don't think,
There's a
Yeah, Thomas Street is in the county. It's out there where Lume is, in that area, Lake Louise.
There's not a Thomas over near Lake, like 16th Street, Lake Avenue.
I've never seen one.
Is it Thompson?
I don't
Over off
think
of
so.
Lake
I can
Avenue?
double check, but I don't think so.
Okay. Okay. So, Ms. Ward made the motion to approve.
Second?
Second by Ms. Todd. Any other discussion? All in favor, signal by raising your hand.
And for Cora,
6-0.
she would vote against it if she were here only because she's opposed to naming walking in streets for people.
We're hyphenating it. All right, item 17, request approval of travel for Chairman Holberg, Commissioner Todd McCord, to the MEAG Power Annual Conference, July 13th through the 15th, 2015. What is the pleasure of the board? Mr. Ward made a motion, second by Mr. McLemore. Any other discussion? All in favor, signal by raising your hand. 6-0. All right. City manager report.
Reminder about Archway listening sessions. They are Tuesday, June the 2nd, 9:30 a.m. at Spalding High and 6:30 p.m. at Forest Elementary. Make sure that's on your calendar.
When is
Mentioned
that?
June Jam, that's June the 6th at the new park location. And the opening of our new electric facility on Thomas Drive will be June the 5th at 11 a.m. and you'll be getting an invitation to that.
Mr. Whalen. Mr. McCord.
Just congratulate y'all as Griffin is part of the graduates that will graduate Friday and Saturday morning, and all of the students the team in Griffin tomorrow.
Mr. McLemore, father to be.
Kenny, I'm sorry to hit you at this point. I should have brought up earlier. I believe in the office at the veterans conference when we told them about it. And I should have asked them to volunteer and get out early. Probably benefit everyone who works together like that.
Yeah, I mean, basically, the operating budget is pretty much the same as it has been for the last few years. Capital expenses are actually down this year as compared to last year. We did see quite a bit of increase in our personnel costs for insurance purposes. We started out with a 30% or 29% insurance cost. We got it down to a 10% insurance cost, health insurance wise. All of our insurance costs are going up. In addition, our workman's comp saw about, a 39% increase, I believe it was, in workman's comp. So the city is absorbing all of those costs. We're not passing any of our benefit costs on to our employees. However, we are not figuring in an increase in salary for our employees after absorbing all of those benefit costs, including retirement also went up. I guess that's the whole thing in a nutshell. All of our rates and tax rates as well as utility rates, no changes recommended in any of that. We're looking for a slight increase, hopefully, in our digest according to Spalding County and the tax assessors, maybe a 1.5% to 2% increase in our digest. So hopefully we'll be in good shape as far as taxes are concerned. Right, we are going to bring to you a policy on certification increases for our police officers as they earn those certifications or have earned those certifications, and also possibility of a signing bonus for police officers and maybe some other hard-to-fill positions that we're having a bit of turnover in. So we'll be bringing those policies to you within the next couple of meetings to approve those.
Mr. Moore.
We had two highly successful programs this weekend, Memorial Day. The Sunday afternoon program, the KIA plaque group was a wonderful program. I think the auditorium's almost full. I don't know how many holds that auditorium, but we had hundreds of people there, including the families of KIAs that were recognized. It would make your very proud of our city. I thought it was excellent. Monday was a home run at the Memorial Day celebration at our Veterans Memorial Park, and I really want to thank the city and the staff for extraordinarily good community relations and public service. We had a new flagpole donated down there. The old one's rusted out by a gentleman, and we asked the power folks to come put it up. They showed up, put up the new flagpole, boom, boom, boom. They're fast and good, and it was an awesome job quickly. Otherwise, I don't know what we'd have done. The GWAT itself needed a concrete base, and Public Works went out there and did that expeditiously and very, very good. So we asked for another security light or two. That came up. So the city really came off well, and I don't know how many veterans want me to thank the city for the great help and the support we've had. So at least a couple dozen since yesterday have said, please thank the city for their help. So I'm very, very proud of our staff, and it goes a long way to saying who we are, I think. So thank you very much, all of you who helped us. And by the way, like Sergeant Drum, who's a young man we honored by changing that little street out there by the armory. That gentleman was killed in Iraq. His family lives in Louisiana, and 9 of them, 2 carloads of them, came from Louisiana to attend that service because we recognized he was one of them on the monument. So they were so proud of Griffin, thanked us to that family. All the families did, but I thought that was extraordinary that 9 of them came from Louisiana to participate.
Yes, I'd like to echo exactly what Dick said. It was interesting to connect with the families because the deaths occurred, 3 of the deaths occurred in 2005, and I was mayor. And so I got to represent the city in taking letters to them and letting them know how much the city of Griffin appreciated their service. And so it was good to renew these acquaintances again and for them to come into Griffin because Griffin was very special to them. Their children graduated from high school here. They lived here at one time, and the Faulkners came from Stockbridge. The Drons came from Louisiana. The Hollers are Thomaston, Zebulon, Griffin. You know, we're one community. And of course, we had the Larimores here, the Rogers. It was magnificent, and it goes to say Griffin, and we should have this on our water tank. I know of no city in Georgia that is more patriotic than the city of Griffin, who cares for its veterans, who loves its veterans. And I think that what we also need to do is remember we don't have much contact with our Georgia National Guard unit. They come here, but then they board buses and go for training elsewhere. The National Guard unit here has just been famous and part of Griffin since its existence. It's been a treasure for our city. It's a landmark, and I hope that we will always have one. The Georgia National Guard State Unit has always indicated and appreciated all of the efforts of the citizens of Griffin and have gone to great measures to see that we do have a unit here. It may be a small unit. And I thought the wonderful part was we had 2 soldiers from the National Guard who unveiled the memorial to the Global War on Terror memorial yesterday. It was, just proud to live in this community. We have a great community. I cannot imagine why people like to find fault. If they find fault, it's because they're not involved in the community. You get involved in this community, and you are family, and you're part of it. I can't say enough for the Military Affairs Committee of the Chamber. They work so very hard and diligently. We just have great volunteers in this community. That's it.
Just wanted to thank Angela and the staff for y'all's hard work in getting the budget put together for us and all the team. It was an excellent presentation this morning, Mr. Smith, and look forward to moving forward with another great year. Also, tomorrow morning, I believe there's a healthcare facility ribbon cutting at 10:30. You remember the name of that offhand?
It's the mental health
The crisis center. So that's at 10:30 in the morning. I know they've sent a half a dozen invites on that. And June Jam is going to be spectacular. I want to encourage everyone to participate. There will be a table reserved for city commission and staff, so feel free to join and have a good time. So it should be a great weekend coming up. And they've got several major sponsors that have contributed $500, $1,000, $1,500. So it should be a good day. Any other questions or comments? And Rodney, what about that picture on Facebook? Thank you. I'm sorry, excuse me. With that being said, we got a motion adjourned by Ms. Ward. Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Malcolm.